Hello, my name is Jessie, and I am doing a final project for an awesome class that I've been taking at UNCW, Creating Happiness and Well. So we've been reading this book. It is called The How of Happiness, and it is by Sonia Lubomirsky. I probably totally butchered that. I did not even try to figure out how to properly say it. So I apologize, because I do very much respect this author. I learned a lot from this book. She is really real and just puts scientific principles in clinically studied statistics into a way, like a simple way for us to not only understand but also apply to our lives. So I really like this book. Right in the beginning, there is a kind of a questionnaire that you can go through to figure out what kind of strategies would work best for your particular personality type and your needs, as well as your desires. And it ties in with kind of like finding your flow. You know, what do you enjoy doing, that you're very good at doing, that can provide happiness while also a sense of purpose, and being a part of something that's bigger than you, which for me is huge. I love that aspect. And so one of my strategies is religion, and this would be the number one thing for my happiness personally. Although religion is a big one for me. I must be in my practice every day. I have to say, though, I don't like the word religion, and I'm going to plug Jesus here for a minute. I don't believe that Jesus came for us to have a religion. I believe that Jesus came for us to have a relationship, to have healthy relationships. And religion and organized religion can get real twisted and dark, and it can get real far away more times than not from what I believe the underlying message and the truest message is. And for me, that is Jesus came to give me a relationship, to give me healthy relationships, to teach me how to function properly and peacefully and empowered in this world. And so finding my groove there and disciplining myself, even when my logical brain couldn't wrap itself around it, I knew in my spirit that there had to be more. And so it was in my darkest hours that I came to find this powerful peace through religion and spirituality. And if I get out of my spiritual practices for like 1 or 2 days, I'm out of whack. So religion's definitely a huge one for me. It's been immensely powerful in my life. Let's see, another strategy is acts of kindness. I was already doing this before, and I shared with the class my community art project, and this is single-handedly what got me through the hardest parts of my life. Practicing acts of kindness daily for me is a way to harness the negative energy that's inside of me. For one, I have to figure out what's going on. I have to acknowledge that there is some negative energy going on inside me. I've got to actively harness that energy, and then I've got to release it into the universe in a positive way. And that is extremely powerful. When you can learn to take that negativity, harness it, and put it out there for people in a positive way, that's impressive. That feels good. That is accomplishing something. And the third strategy that I chose was gratitude. Just to be constantly aware and pausing and giving thanks for the many blessings that we have in our life, even though it may be going terribly wrong or completely out of control, straight up traumatic situation. There is always a silver lining. And it's all right. Has my happiness improved? Yes. How do you plan to sustain happiness? I liked what she talks about, positive emotion. And so it's great that we have been on this journey and we've been documenting how these strategies are working, but it's super important to to have a plan of action. There's my kitty. Hi, Rattler. To have a plan of action and goals and steps and a plan that we're going to carry out in order to keep hold of these truths that we have found. And so I really like positive emotion, and I like what she says. We know that ongoing positive experiences brought on by conscious effort may ensure lifelong happiness. So that's my future strategy. I am going to, and finally, how did this class help me? Class/classmates help me. This class has confirmed everything that I did. It has confirmed that I did it right, and that's an awesome feeling. I didn't have this class when I was going through my darkest hour, and so I had to find it on myself. I didn't know that there were resources. I didn't know that I could train my brain to be positive. I didn't know that there were things that I could do to create this state of positive psychology. Now I do, and it's great. It's reaffirmed some of my practices. It's reaffirmed that I did good in trying to seek out truth and what works. And as far as my classmates, y'all, I loved the setup in this class. I love the way that Miss Todd ran this class. She's an amazing instructor, amazing person, great human. I loved her. I loved your energy. You're a beautiful, beautiful person. And I thought it was really cool how everybody was able to speak openly about these things that we naturally try to oppress and not acknowledge. And that's what leads to really chaotic moments and loss of happiness and depression, because we think we're alone. And it's so important to be able to speak openly about dark feelings and emotions and depression and trauma, bad things that happen to great people, and then how great people get stuck in this rut and can't seem to get out of it. It happens to everybody, and it's normal. To a certain extent, it is. And if we can't talk openly about it, then what do we think is going to happen? It's going to be a whole world of crazy darkness and unhappy people. So I'm excited that there's classes like this now, and that young adults entering into the next chapter are going to have these resources and these tools in their toolbox for when they do come to a conflict in the world, or when somebody does shit on them for no reason. They're going to be, and me too, we're going to be able to go back to what we know and our plan, and hopefully we'll be okay. So yeah, this class has been great. The classmates, and I do want to say, when I was up talking about my rocks and my career as a chaplain and all that, just to see the look in some of my classmates' eyes, like they were receiving what I was saying. They were listening to me, and I was helping just by sharing my story. And there was a time not that long ago where I kept all of that crap inside, about the mental illness issues in my family. Because why? I don't know. I thought that it wasn't appropriate to really talk about it, and that's ridiculous. So just to be able to talk openly and to stand up in front of people and talk openly about the darkest parts of my life and be in this place where I'm not at a loss of peace over it. I'm not stressing. I'm not freaking out. I'm not anxious. Although I did get a little jittery when I was up there, because I was overwhelmed with positive emotion. And for the first time, I just kind of had the realization, I'm back at this school 10 years later, and I'm standing here talking about my struggles, talking about how I choose to turn the negatives into positives and what has worked for me. And it's just like this big, happy, warm, you are in the right place. You are doing the right thing. And it was just like a big, warm hug, this class, all around, and the people in it. And I'm super thankful. And